Back to Lombardi Sweep. We got a full barn again today. Trevor Land in the top right, Jana Wilson bottom right, Luke Reimer bottom left. I am Zach Bruner, and boy, the Packers suck. Let's talk about that. The Packers Week 1 game went as we predicted it, basically. Not as bad as last year, which Aaron Rodgers was quick to point out. Scored more points than Week 1 last year, so that's good. And I guess what I want to do, let's just go around. Trevor can start. We can go clockwise. What's your biggest just vibe, feeling, takeaway from the game, whatever? If you have like a one sentence thing, what are you feeling from Week 1? Was it a big deal? Was it not? Trevor, go.
So it's got to be a little longer in a sentence, but Matt LaFleur said something along the lines of, when asked about Jair on Justin Jefferson, we'd have to switch to man. So if you want to change our whole defense, fine. Yeah, that's probably what you should do when the guy's putting up 160 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns on you. So not happy with that answer from LaFleur, and overall not confident.
Janet.
I don't know. Aaron's frustration. I watched like their interviews, but he sounded like before when he would get frustrated on the field, he had Adams to force the ball to, and Adams would magically catch the ball. And now he doesn't have Adams, so I could feel like he was definitely missing him this past game.
I don't know. He would have targeted him too much.
But Adams would have magically found his way to get the ball versus, and then he just kept highlighting like rookie mistakes. That's all he kept saying the whole time.
I have a couple takeaways, initial thoughts from this game. I guess I'll give you some overview. But all of us have watched football for a long time. Have you ever seen a team lose a game on their first offensive play?
No, not before. To your point, yeah, I agree. That's basically what it felt like on Sunday.
I mean, just after that play, it felt like everyone was just down in the dumps. No one gave a fuck about anything. Like 18 offensive linemen are injured. Justin Jefferson's just like nobody within 50 yards of him. Like, it was just a shit show. And I think that the biggest concern coming from it is, like, it's got to be the offensive line, right? They had, Runyon goes down. Jake Hanson's playing all over the place. Like, Jake Hanson is turning around looking at Aaron Jones 15 yards downfield and runs into him. So, I mean, that was the thing that stuck out the most to me was the bad offensive line play, and I don't necessarily know that it's going to be corrected for Chicago.
Right, yeah. I think there was only 2 actual, like, real weaknesses in the Packer game, and that was 1, offensive line, and 2, coaching. Like, scheme, coaching, whatever you want to call it. Like, there's a lot of issues with what the Packers did, and, like, yes, they don't have the personnel to do a lot of things, but you can coach around it. You can scheme up things around it. There was a lot of issues they did. And if the Packers don't have wide receivers that can break man coverage and get wide open, or anything, or, if there's no protection up front, so you can't really have long developing routes, you need to put players in motion pre-snap on plays that aren't running plays. Like, pretty much the Packers rarely use motion, and like 85% of the time that they do use it, it's to set up a block. It's not to pass the football. So, like, if you just brought, Romeo Doubs across the formation or whatever pre-snap, so he has a running start to go, like, he's going to get open. Like, it's the easiest thing you can do. That's why, like, half the league does it now, and the other half the league sucks. So I don't know. Simple stuff. And then defense. I mean, fuck. They weren't coached. So I don't know.
Even with the bad defense, or I should say bad coaching on defense, it felt like Minnesota was doing whatever they wanted, the whole game. They only scored 23 points.
Correct.
Like, that game was so fucking winnable.
Mm-hmm.
If you put together more than one drive in that game, the Packers win that game.
Right, yeah. If you complete that first catch, and then, if you score on the goal line, you do stuff like that, super simple. Also, I'm super anti running it on 4th and 1 on the goal line. I hate that call so much because you give yourself like one way you can score. If you roll out, how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers extend plays with his legs and then run it in? We saw him do it with Chicago last year before he screamed at the fans, stuff like that. Like, that's what you got to do. But defensively, here's the thing. There's a few points I want to say because LaFleur talks about we would have to run man or whatever, and that would change up our entire defense. That's why Jair Alexander wasn't on him. I don't think anybody understands the difference between zone coverage and man coverage in the NFL. And I know one person who for sure doesn't understand it, and that's Quay Walker, because every coverage in the NFL is man coverage. There's no such thing as a real zone unless you're playing like the baby, like super, super dumbed down base version where literally you're standing in your zone, and some teams do it, but most teams don't. Like that's why like Quay Walker kept getting beat. Like he ran to his zone in the flat and he did that, but he didn't even run to the guys. Like that's a coaching mistake, and that's something, we pointed out on draft day that he did in college, and he's going to continue to do. Devondre Campbell does the same thing. They're just not coached very well. But like the whole, like the Vikings scored with ease and they could have put up more points because the Packers did one defensive formation and one defensive scheme. Really, I mean, they switched it up a little bit, but the assignments were essentially 1, 2, or 3, and the Vikings just looked to see what formation they were in. And if Justin Jefferson runs from across the field left or right and no one switches, he's going to be wide open. I don't know. It's a upper level football argument, I guess, but like the Vikings just did what they were supposed to do. They saw exactly what they did, practiced on film all week. It was just super simple.
And I think, you mentioned maybe it's an upper football whatever argument, but is there an argument to Justin Jefferson being wide open the entire game?
Well, like that big one when he ran from the formation left to right across the field, and I think Jair started on him and got turned around.
Yeah.
So first off, like because the same action basically was happening on the opposite side with Rasul Douglas, they could have talked pre-snap, and this could have been practice where they could have switched. But because they didn't switch, so Jair kind of has to run with him, even though it's zone. He could have helped possibly over the top from Amos there, but Amos is responsible for the tight end, and the tight end was crossing to the other side. So Amos jumps down, and again, he's allowed to do whatever he wants in the Joe Barry defense. He's supposed to trust his eyes and do what he wants. So he comes down and breaks the over-the-top coverage, and Justin Jefferson just ran by him. It was just a schemed open play. Like it worked exactly how you draw it up.
Right. I guess my point being is, and I know it's all coaching, but like a Belichick team is not letting Justin Jefferson ever see any light of day. Like my whole thing is, number one, there should always have been someone on Justin Jefferson, plow him at the line, make sure that he doesn't get the ball, whatever that means, and that didn't happen.
Well, just roll coverage over the top on whatever side he's on.
Right.
The Packers legitimately, they were playing quarters or cover 3 the entire game because they didn't want to get beat on a big play. And what did they do every time? They got beat on a big play because the safeties kept crashing. Like it's ridiculous. But to your point, my argument would be Bill Belichick wouldn't let Justin Jefferson run wide open. Right. I think that's false. I think he would once, and then he would adjust.
Yeah, fair.
And like most teams would do it once, and then they would adjust. And the Packers just didn't the entire game. That's the issue.
Yeah, agreed.
Another issue I have, and it's not with this week. It's how's Pumbaa feeling? Is he gagging on anything? Is he good?
I know he hasn't been. Only Baloo does.
Oh, Baloo. Okay. This isn't an issue for this last week or possibly this week, but here's the snap counts from the Packers on defense, because we've talked about how the Packers have zero depth, and this is why it's scary. So for cornerbacks, we talked about how they only had 4 cornerbacks active, one of which was Keyshawn Nixon. He played 1 snap the entire game. So we're talking Eric Stokes played all 62. We have Jair Alexander played all 62. And we have Rasul Douglas played 41 of 62. Staying in the secondary, Darnell Savage, Adrian Amos are the only two safeties to play. They played every single snap. One injury throws off everything, obviously. Even linebackers. Let's talk about it. Devonta Campbell, all 62. That's not wild. Like, that makes sense. Quay Walker played 38 of 62. Barnes played 9. He left hurt, I believe. And McDuffie played 6. The edge guys, Preston Smith played 53 of 62 snaps. That's not sustainable, obviously. Way too many. Rashad Gary played 49 of 62. That's too many.
Too many.
Jonathan Garvin played 12. Kingsley Enagbari played 10. Congratulations. And then defensive line even. Kenny Clark played 43 of 62. Jerron Reed played 42 of 62. And then the first round rookie who is so good, and thank God the Packers drafted him, played 12. So again, what did the Packers do this draft? They drafted guys who aren't playing, or in the case of Quay Walker, everyone talked about how good of a game he had. Doesn't know the fundamentals of NFL coverage yet, which again, I think he will. And I think he is going to be good, but the Packers drafted him because he's super athletic, not because he knows how to play football. Done.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole point with reading off the snap counts, again, we've talked about how the Packers have zero depth, literally one injury to anybody in the secondary, and the ship goes down. Like, there's an obvious guy to pick on. Last week, Quay Walker was the obvious guy Kirk Cousins kept picking on the entire game. Imagine if now Keyshawn Nixon or the other safety comes down to play cornerback. Like, they're just going to be passed on. They're just going to be targeted over and over and over. It's just kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to touch on the when you talked about heavy motion in the offense, and you can get someone going that way. That happened a lot with when Devonta Adams was on the team.
Yeah.
And you know what play I'm talking about on the goal line where they have Devonta motion him all the way across and just hit him in the flat?
Mm-hmm.
Every team in the NFL is running that now.
Yeah.
And we didn't see that at all at the goal line.
Nope.
I don't know who would run that play, but it feels like it always works for every team to ever run it ever. So, yeah, you're right. Like, I've said it millions of times, but just getting those linebackers' eyes to move for a half a second does so much for the offense, whether you give the motion guy the ball or not. One other thing I wanted to bring up was about Devonta Adams. Like, they need to stop showing his stats. I hope that doesn't happen all season because we know that he's doing well. That doesn't need to be said to us. Like, we did not want to trade him.
No.
And there's no need to keep rubbing that. Like, we know our receivers are terrible.
Yeah.
That needs to stop. And Green Bay needs to not have Greg Olsen again. But
true. And speaking of terrible wide receivers, this is also a talking point this week. Amari Rodgers didn't see a single snap in the game. So again, we have him so he can fair catch punt returns. Is that worth the roster spot? I don't know.
I will do the same thing for $50,000 for the entire year to just fair catch and not play offense. Like, what are we doing? Why is he on the team?
he's going to play running back. They're saving him for that.
He might. I think it'll be top-down enforcement that he sees a decent amount of snaps this week. I think Gutekunst is going to be like, okay, let's get him into the game plan this week. That's how this kind of stuff usually works, unfortunately. So
maybe he can double as a water boy, and they can actually.
That'd be cool. Make him earn his keep. Practice reports. John Runyon got concussed in the game. He left. Zach Tom came in. I was so happy to see that because, when we drafted him, even before we drafted him, when we were just talking about players we hope the Packers would draft, I said Zach Tom's a good left tackle who should slide in at guard. He filled in perfectly, and I thought he looked really good at left guard. So hoping that can stay. David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, and Alan Lazard were all limited today. That's something to watch, but I think that's good news. I feel pretty good about Alan Lazard and David Bakhtiari playing this week. And then we'll see about Jenkins. But if Jenkins does play, I would assume they kick Royce Newman down to right guard and put Jenkins at right tackle. And then I guess if Runyon doesn't play, I think they're going to keep Zach Tom at left guard. Otherwise, Runyon's going to get that spot. But I think that's good. We're getting healthy. We're feeling good. Here we go. But Josh was saying Joe Barry needs to stop being so soft and take out that tampon. You don't need to pay a quarter that much money to stay on KJ Osborne as someone who plays lockdown corner with a wide receiver one while you play cornerback. I agree. But again, I don't think this defense is very. Joe Barry's philosophy is to dumb down the defense so players can play, like to play at full speed, full contact all the time. So that's why they're running a zone. Like he just wants everyone to know their assignments, know what they do. So that's why they're not traveling, because he's hoping they play faster, play better, play harder, force turnovers. And when they're not playing faster, harder, and force turnovers and can get schemed out of position, that's when it looks like week one. So I don't know. I think they're going to be better, but I don't know. I don't think the Packers, I think, still could have, to your point, Luke, this was a super winnable game. If the offensive line was fine and at full health, I think the Packers have a decent chance to win the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they win that game by 10 plus if Bakhtiari and Jenkins are playing and are at full strength.
I agree. So hopefully they are back against the Bears this week. If not, it sounds like they're right around the corner. And with them in there, I mean, I know Royce Newman's still going to be a liability at right guard, but putting him between Myers and Jenkins, I think you can hide him quite a bit, which I like. Other stuff. Oh, why does bad things happen immediately after Aaron Rodgers cuts his hair? Whether it's shaving his mustache or something. Doesn't that seem like that always happens? Or is it just me?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every year we're like, why didn't you keep the mustache? And when he plays really terrible in week one.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
I feel like that's the source of power.
I have an Aaron Rodgers take.
That's a source of power.
Yeah.
So we usually talk about like Aaron Rodgers playing better after he loses his girlfriend or fiance or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of scared if he loses this one because she's gonna like put a hex on the Packers or something.
I agree. Yeah,
I didn't really do make him good though. Like we already lose in the playoffs every year.
Yeah,
so
I guess.
What the hell is she gonna do?
He should. Aaron should be like Baker Mayfield, where after every quarter he just comes with a different haircut or like something.
Does
Do you
Baker do
remember
that?
like? Yeah,
He did it one time.
He did it one time where like he came back after every quarter with like. At first he had like shaved off his mustache, like it was like a beard, and then it was like a mustache, and then it was like a goatee. Like he just changed it up every time he came back out of
that.
He was like Harry Baker, and then by the time the press conference rolled around, he had no hair on his face.
Yes.
That's very funny. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
He should do that just to experiment to see like where it's at. Maybe it's the mustache. No, it's not the mustache. Shave it off. Next quarter.
I'm all for it. I agree. Anything else to say about week one before we move on to the Bears?
I don't think so. I'm not a big fan of Zadarius Smith.
Me neither. Douchebag.
Not anymore.
Yeah. It felt like every single play in that game where like Kirk Cousins had pressure, that he could have just threw it over the middle and Justin Jefferson would have been there somewhere. I think that was the most infuriating part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they kind of held Adam Thielen nice.
Yeah. Jair was on him.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I'll say is they get every time there's a game like this, they get away from Aaron Jones way too quickly.
Too quickly.
He every time he touches the ball, it's 4 or 5 yards. So if they just stick with running the ball again, I think the game would have been closer.
Yep.
Running the ball with him, not AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon was fine too, but yeah, we just need to run the football, and we're going to see a lot of that, I assume, on Sunday night against the Bears.
It was nice to see Rashawn Gary convert a sack too.
Yeah, that was very early,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of the game he did not.
Mm-hmm.
No, came back down to earth. But yeah, let's talk about the Bears. The Bears leading the division, tied with the Vikings. Look at the Bears go. They won in the monsoon last week. And this week, the Packers are favored by 10 points. I'm going to see if that's still the line. But Packers playing at home, obviously, Sunday Night Football. Got some blood ball against the Bears. It doesn't seem like it should be a very close game. But if that offensive line, it's 9.5 points now with an over-under of 42.5 points. So a low-scoring, lopsided game is what the sports books are predicting. And to me, again, that just sounds like Packers offensive line is going to be healthy and they're going to run the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how I'm interpreting that line.
I would agree.
Yeah. So the Bears didn't look good last week.
God, no.
Even though they won. So the offensive line for the Bears is still really bad. So again, Rashawn Gary, everybody else up front, Preston Smith, they need to be getting pressure. I think you can get a lot of pressure on the interior, on their center or left guard. Tevin Jenkins is playing right guard now. You can't really rush him super well. He's actually playing the position he's supposed to. So I think this could be a big Kenny Clark game, a big Jaron Reed game. Jaron Reed looked so good last week. I guess for the key to victory, if we want to do that, I'm just going to say play in the trenches again. The offensive line needs to protect Rodgers, and the defensive line needs to rush Justin Fields.
Yeah,
simple. Luke,
mine kind of goes hand in hand with you. It's give the ball to Aaron Jones.
That's fair. Janet,
same. Also run that clock. Keep the defense off the field because they're going to be rough.
Yeah. Trevor.
Robert Tunyon had an interview where he basically talked, I think it was with, what's his name, that we talk about signing on special teams. Can't remember his name, free agent player. Tennessee.
Will Compton?
Yeah, I think he was talking with Will Compton in an interview, and he basically said the Packers every year in the playoffs get down on themselves for some reason, and that hurts a downfall. So my key is don't get down on yourselves. Like you said, after that first play, the game was effectively over. And it seems like they get down on themselves immediately, and the game's over. Again, I said it last stream, the Bears have a swagger to them. I think they're going to come actually expecting to win this week. So you got to keep the energy up at least.
I don't see the swagger you're talking about.
I see it. I
can see what Trevor's saying. Like they got a big win over a good team. They're going to play. Yeah.
Every year it looks like the Bears come in timid not to lose. And for the first time, I feel like they're coming in to say, hey, we're taking it to you. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I see a difference.
I saw a tweet by one of the Bears players saying they were going to take out all their anger on Aaron Rodgers.
Everyone says that always.
Yeah.
Just talk.
I'm good.
Trevor, to go along with your point about like keeping the energy up, I think it really does help that it's the first game at Lambeau. It's Sunday Night Football. I bring this up every year, but everyone's gonna be all pissed drunk, and it's gonna be loud at Lambeau. So I would imagine that energy will be fine, especially with LaFleur being the big crowd guy that he is.
Yeah, he's maybe they should get him like maracas or something on the sideline to really pop up the crowd this year. That could be cool.
Hey, it's Mexican Independence Day this weekend on Friday.
I knew that. That's why I said it.
I always love how whenever he raises the crowd, he always tries to look super serious, like he's thinking about the game, when in reality he has no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah,
he's just a yell leader at this point. He's like, yeah.
The real question, Luke,
yes.
Do they still have the lemon hazy IPA there? Because that'll get the crowd going quicker.
Unknown.
Do they have it in the press box?
No. So I had in the
that
press
he
box,
would know.
They they give it they serve food like there was like chicken and salad or something, and then at halftime they bring that all out and they just give you like brats and hot dogs and stuff. I had a hot dog and I was thinking like these hot dogs taste a lot better when you're drunk.
They usually do.
Like those were not great hot dogs.
I mean, talk to Aaron. Get next time in the locker room, just see what you can do. Yeah,
right. I'll be there Sunday night. I'll see what strings I can pull.
Did
Get a
y'all
question at the press conference.
Did y'all ever see that brat that my brother made me when he was drunk?
You told us about it, I think.
It was like drenched in mustard. It was good though. You're
Sounds pretty
right. Yeah. Like
Sounds
you
pretty
couldn't
good.
even see the hot dog at all, or like the brat at all.
Hey, Coach, what do you think about switching over to Nathan's hot dogs this year?
Yeah. They're set him up. Give him a hot dog.
Right.
And you know it gets terrible and cold and stale at this point. And then you do the gotcha journalism, be like, this is what we're getting up there. This is
Right.
despicable. Really set him up. Okay, I'm just looking at their wide receivers snap counts right now, just because I wanted to see. Equinemius St. Brown caught the big touchdown last week, helped the Bears win. I'm sure he's one of the super motivated, swaggy guys. Trevor, he ended up playing 44 of the 58 snaps for the Bears, which that's got to be the most snaps he's ever played in a game.
I want the
Congrats
Packers.
to him.
I want Jair Alexander to shadow him and just like not allow a catch.
Yeah.
Legitimate, yeah, really.
Fuck the rest of their offense. Just don't let EQ get a catch.
Yeah, let Mooney do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Byron Pringle, who's probably the second best wide receiver they have, only played 10 snaps. Again, you can't really take much from this because of the water and everything that was going on. But yeah, that's basically their wide receivers. Dante Pettis is there. He played 23. Mooney obviously is an every down guy. And that's it.
Dante Pettis probably won the week 1 award of, he's still in the league and he's on that team.
Yeah, legitimately.
Participation award.
I don't know if I can read this comment.
I know.
Why did they put Preston in coverage? Again, he played nearly every fucking snap, so someone has to cover, and he's actually he's really good in coverage. Bring back King. No.
Joshua, as a
I'm not
writing
getting on that
teacher,
train.
did you save a lot of time by not spelling all of Y?
I think he did. I'm in his corner on this one.
Yeah, I'm also.
If you're that mad, if you're talking about Kevin King, he doesn't deserve the right punctuation or spelling.
Kevin King didn't even get a training camp call from anybody. Like, I'm so happy.
We need to sign Verone McKinley, by the way, like ASAP.
Hey, we need to sign Blankenship. That would be a cool name.
You talked a little while ago about him getting cut and he'd be a perfect pickup for the Packers. I don't know if anybody picked him up.
Well, yeah, he's on a team. Yeah, he's on the Dolphins.
No, he's not on a team. That's not a team.
Did they sign Blankenship yet? I want him.
You want the guy with the goggles or what?
The guy who missed a 42-yarder against Houston?
So here's my question.
He's
That's
okay.
A cool name. It's a cool name, though.
So,
and imagine him wearing those goggles in the snow.
I'll need them.
Oh, okay. So my question is, like, steroids can't exist, right? The performance enhancing and stuff like that.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Like, why does water and glasses? Why is that allowed? I mean, that's performance enhancing.
Glasses.
You know what I mean?
No.
Yes.
Someone who needs glasses plays better with glasses on. That's performance enhancing.
No,
that's true.
But what if they fog up? Then it's performance de-enhancing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How often do they fog up though?
All the time. You've never worn glasses before?
Not during a football game.
You literally go outside and they fog up. And then you go
That's a good point. Because it's not like internal, so like that would be the separation. But if they're allowing glasses and contacts, then they should allow stick-em.
Correct. Yes.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm with you. And Randy, of course, adds to the conversation: is stuffed pizza overrated?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
Good stuff. No. Trevor, give your bad take on the situation.
Cheese and crust is like the best.
He's so mad about the glasses thing. I'm mad too.
I'm just glad we're talking about glasses as performance enhancing. What the hell are we doing?
I mean, by definition, they are.
He's right.
No, that's not fair because but you're born with that in your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Not glasses.
They still enhance your performance.
Yeah, you were born a bitch. It's not the NFL's fault that you need glasses, you know?
Hey, that's rude. I used to be like -7 point whatever. I could not see anything.
Well, you're also not in the NFL.
Yeah. Coincidence? I think
and
not.
That might be what held you back. And that's fine. That's what Luke's saying.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who played without glasses, Josh says it's like playing drunk. Story for another time. I've lost one contact during a game before, and that was a nightmare. Because, that's
I lost a
almost
tooth during a
worse.
basketball game. That was a
So
nightmare.
to level out the playing field,
Did
you're
it?
just gonna get all the players drunk then, and then he doesn't have to use his glasses.
True. That's the only way to fix that.
Unless alcohol is performance enhancing for one player, then you can't have it.
It was for Josh Gordon.
Yep.
It was actually a necessity, as we've
Aaron
seen him
Rodgers
sober
admitted
now.
he was playing on Percocets. So,
Yeah.
drugs probably enhance drugs and alcohol.
He did not
Marshawn
have
Lynch
to
has never
admit,
played
we knew
sober.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
That too.
All right. Cool.
Agreed. So yeah, Packers Bears. Sunday night football. Packers favored by 9.5. Again, we can just give our score prediction. I mean, this is just a Bears Packers game. Even though the Packers are struggling and injured, it really doesn't matter. Like there isn't that much interesting storylines to talk about. I'm gonna go with the Packers win. I think
But
it's going to be
gagged. He's like,
that's fair. Might want to switch my pick, but I'm gonna go with the Packers win 26-14.
I like it. If I had to give like a real gambling answer, I would say Packers 28, Bears 17. But I really think this could be a 35-0 game. The Packers win. I mean, last year after that Week 1 loss, they came out and just obliterated the Lions. A lot of that was Aaron Jones. He had 4 touchdowns in that game. I don't know why that differs this week at all. Like Bears don't scare you. I don't think the Bears scare you in any one position. Maybe if Bakhtiari and Jenkins are out, Robert Quinn a little bit. But other than that, I mean, the Packers should win this game. Like if the Packers play the same game they played against Minnesota, against the Bears, I think maybe they lose like 10-7. But I mean, that's still a pretty close to winnable game for the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Jana, what's your score prediction?
I'm gonna say Packers 28, Bears 23. I think it's gonna be really close.
And Trevor?
I see this game playing out one of two ways. Either the Packers beat the brakes off the Bears, or can't believe I'm saying this. I'm buying into the Bears hype. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I can't wait to be proven wrong.
The swag of the Bears.
I'm going with the damn Bears 21-20. I think they pull some bullshit out of their hat. I know this is their Super Bowl. It's one of the two. Either the Packers beat the brakes off them, or I think the Bears win a close game. Because the Packers are clearly the better team. I don't think that's even a question.
Which Bear is going to show up most swaggy, you think?
Justin Fields is going to have like a okay suit. Nobody's going to act like he's the new mayor of Chicago.
You know who I despise? Is Eddie Jackson.
I like him a lot.
Why?
I think he's solid.
I don't know.
Give me a reason, because I'm down to hate somebody. Just let me know why.
Let me figure out a reason, and I'll present what I find next show.
There is no reason. The reason is because he's historically been good for the Bears. Not the past year, but the year before. I think he was very opportunistic. Oh, you would hate him because he had a pick 6 against the Lions at one time. That was before Dan Campbell, but
I think that was before Jared Goff.
So AJ Dillon, his interview title was "Go Guns A Blazing" this week. Do you guys think it's gonna be like last year where we lost the first game and then we start picking up, or do you think it's? I think it is. I think we always start like this.
I also think, I guess before you guys, I'll just jump in here. I think if Bakhtiari and Jenkins don't play, I think there's a huge test for the offensive line, because Tampa's right around the corner.
Yeah.
This almost feels like a tune-up game for Tampa to me, where I think that the Packers should go all out and try everything that they have, because next week is going to be a very tough game, but I think it'll be a very fun game.
imagine how much easier the schedule would be if Tom Brady didn't come back. We're talking Bears, Kyle Trask, Mac Jones, Daniel Zerbs, Zach Wilson, Carson Wentz.
Imagine how many more people would have more money if Tom Brady never played football.
He's just gonna look like a plastic Ken doll if he keeps coming back every year. Now that's performance enhancement.
Yeah, he's had some enhancements for sure.
I have a
He's
I have a
made
little-
out of plastic.
Yeah.
I have a little packet of the TB12 thing that you pour in water, and I'm scared to drink it because I don't know if there's like chemicals that are just absolutely fuck up my body in there or something.
Yo,
Yeah.
send it to me. I'll give you my address. I'll try it. I'll
Okay.
let you know.
Okay.
We'll try it in Detroit. It'll be a wild time.
They're gonna be like Rogers Miles Teller on ayahuasca in Hawaii or whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah, legitimately. Yeah, I don't think the Packers are gonna like go on a run because of Tampa's in week 3. Like, there's no shot they win that game. So that's, and then after that, I don't know. Like, then you play New England, then you go to London, then you play the Jets in a trap game. I don't know. I'm not. I think they're going to be up and down pretty much the entire year. Which, whatever. Before we get out of here, I guess, what's your favorite soup?
Chili.
Asks Randy.
Y'all are gonna hate me when I say my
What?
favorite.
You're gonna tell me that chili's not a soup?
It is a
No,
soup.
no. I said when I say my favorite.
Oh,
It's gonna be
Broccoli
bad.
cheddar. Broccoli
No,
cheddar.
that's fine.
I like broccoli cheddar.
Me too.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm a
It
big broccoli
depends.
guy.
I think it changes based on the season. During winter, chili does not lose to anything ever. I'm with Luke. Not during the winter. I gotta go clam chowder with some of that Old Bay seasoning. Just slaps.
Clam chowder is good.
Yeah, I'll go with chili. I wasn't thinking that until Luke said it, but
Cereal
that's
is
the
soup
answer.
as well. It's a good.
I agree. Is Pizza Hut or Domino's better?
Domino's,
Okay.
it's not close. Don't ask.
Yeah,
that
I'm sorry,
ever
Domino's.
again.
Yes.
Yeah. Janet,
Wait, what?
is Pizza Hut or Domino's better? We need to answer these questions. This is the important part of the show.
This is why everybody tunes in. I don't know. I'm just a pizza person. I just eat whatever.
That's
Little
a
Caesar
nice
better.
answer, Russell Wilson. Jesus.
Ooh,
Oh,
true.
praise God while you're at it. Jesus.
Okay.
Give us an answer.
Okay, fine. Pizza Hut.
It's
Wrong
a wrong
answer.
answer.
Wrong. Janet, do you have any dentistry facts before we go?
You're probably wrong, so.
Actually, not today. I haven't really.
I'll search one up. Give me a second.
Okay. This better
Okay.
be good.
Go. Just go.
We-
Search one.
Do we need to sit in silence? Because I'll keep it into the audio podcast too. Okay.
Are you guys still mind blown that you're not supposed to spit out toothpaste though? Because every time I brush my teeth, I'm like, what the hell?
I think about it every time, and I don't care. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Zach. Like, I'm over it. Yeah, like, what the fuck is
I'm
toothpaste?
still-
Well, what am I gonna do? Like, I have saliva in my mouth. That's gonna wash the toothpaste off. What am I supposed to do? And I get paranoid about it. They're like, "Fuck it, it all goes." I'm rinsing it
Okay,
all out.
So I got one. It's not really dentistry, but it's mouth related. Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not sure where this is gonna go, but continue.
It's fine. In a
It's
lifetime,
mouth related.
a person produces over 100,000 gallons of saliva. That's 20 semi-trucks or 1.06 million red Solo cups.
How many solo cups?
1.06 million.
No.
In a lifetime?
As
You know
somebody
how
who,
big of a number 1 million is?
as somebody
You know
who
how,
drinks out of a
how
lot
much
of solo
saliva you
cups,
make in 80 years?
Luke's like, do you know how many solo cups that I've drank out of?
I just don't like facts like that. I don't understand how you measure it.
Right.
That's a Ravel fact.
Well, I will say, I just looked at the website. It's from Omaha Dentist, so take that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Omaha dentist never turned me wrong.
Omaha.
That was good.
It is .net, which I was told from my teachers automatically means it's reliable, and you have to automatically assume
.net
it's true.
or .org.
You know, that's so stupid that, like, oh, you can't use .com. Everything I've ever learned has come from YouTube.com.
Or
YouTube.
Wikipedia. Wikipedia
Right.
has some strict ass rules.
Can't just anybody just
Do
edit
it.
it?
Yeah.
They are on some of those pages like a fucking hawk. It is not easy.
Let's see.
Wikipedia is mostly true. So I think it's pretty good.
True.
It's
True.
pretty good reference.
So is
coming from
Urban
someone.
Dictionary.
Wikipedia is a good reference coming from someone who writes for a living.
Okay, well, there you have it. This is Lombardi Sweep. Share the show, like the show, subscribe wherever you are listening, and we will be back live next Wednesday night. You will see this in your podcast feed every Thursday morning. See ya.
Deep dish pizza.
Zach,
is trash.
your homework is to watch
Of course.
Baker Mayfield shave his.
Deep dish pizza is trash pizza. It is the worst.
Yeah, way
You
too
know
much
what?
tomato sauce.
Oh, I was still thinking. My mind was at stuffed pizza. I thought you were saving it until the last second. I was gonna
Deep
let the
dish
show
is
keep
trash.
going.
Anybody who likes
Okay,
it,
that's
I
fair.
think less of you.
That's fair. It's just like a bread bowl for like
Yep.
tomato
Yeah.
soup.
Way too much tomato sauce.
Okay.